Hello, all you hardcores out there. How are you doing? It's Russ here from Poker's Corner, the biggest gob in sport. Uh, I just want to go through Anthony Joshua's CV, not from amateurs, because we all know he were gifted a gold at the Olympics. I want to go through his pro record. We all know he started off, with that Emmanuel Lee, and then it was just one waste man after another, all the way up to your Zumbano, Rafael Zumbanos and Jason Gabbins and, your Gary Cornishers. And then, we've got Dylan White then, aka the Can Man. Anybody who wants it can get it, as long as they're over 40 with COVID. Now, Dylan White never won a round, in my opinion, against Joshua. He did catch him in the second round, but he'd never been caught up to then. But at no stage whatsoever did I give Dylan White a clear round. The judges wouldn't have anyway because, you've got Ian John Lewis in the mix at the time. John Keane, Michael Alexander. Well, Michael Alexander and Ian John Lewis are Eddie Hearn men, aren't they? They're Eddie men. Uh, you know, it's just one of them things, in it. But I think Anthony Joshua now, if he gets beat in his next fight, which he won't do because he's going to be fighting Dempsey McKean, a waste man trained by Tony Sims, Joshua's mentor. But if we look at Joshua's CV, really, if he gets beat next time out, he's finished. I doubt he will, but where does he go? Why does he need a warm up for Dylan White, the Can Man? I don't know. It's all a bit disappointing. But after Dylan White's, his first pay-per-view, he then went on a pay-per-view run. Altogether, he's had 13 pay-per-views on the trot. This is a convicted dope dealer and bully, street thug. 13 pay-per-views. Yeah, he's turned his life around. Well done. He's had 13 pay-per-views. So let's give these pay-per-views a mark. Right, let's just say whether it should be pay-per-view or not. Right, Joshua against the following. Dylan White, British title. Pay-per-view, vacant title, no. Shouldn't have been pay-per-view. Charlie Martin, a waste man, who ended up winning Fury's vacant belt because the other guy fell over and did his knee. They bought that belt for Joshua. That shouldn't have been pay-per-view. Charlie Martin. Dominic Brazil, no. Eric Molina, no. Vladimir, in his 42nd year, yes. That's one pay-per-view. Takam, no. Parker, undefeated. Had a belt. I know it was Fury's belt and he got it by default. And Parker's not that much cop, is he really? But because there's a belt online, it's a unified, you'd have to say that's pay-per-view. Povetkin, no, you're an old man. Ruiz, he'd been beat. He didn't have a belt. So no. But Ruiz did beat him and they had a rematch. So yes. That's third pay-per-view. Pulev, no. And then Usyk twice. So that's 5. So basically, Joshua, he's had 13 pay-per-views, but really, 8 of them shouldn't have been pay-per-views, should they really? You look at Carl Froch's CV, right? You could make a case for him having for 14 pay-per-views in the mix. You could make a case out of them 14 for him having 10. and he only got 3. So he's got 7 missing. Joshua's got 8 too many. And this is what you're up against when you get an heavyweight who looks like Joshua, and you can get Eddie Hearn to blow smoke up his arse. I mean, look at these here. Usyk, yeah, I can understand them two being pay-per-view, but Pulev, Jesus, Povetkin, oh God, Takam, Melina, Brazil. Oh, it gets terrible, doesn't it? I'm surprised they didn't put old Gary Cornish in for a pay-per-view. Joshua loves a good old undefeated, doesn't he? Undefeated guys has been in with here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Dempsey McKean will be Joshua's 9th undefeated guy that he's been in with. 9th. A lot of deadwood on here. I mean, Eric Molina. I mean, do you remember when Eddie Hearn turned around and he said, "You know what, Coogan? I've just seen Eric Molina on pads, and I've got a squeaky bum. If you're gonna have a squeaky bum, Eddie, over Eric Molina, what would happen if Wilder got him with Big Meech, aka Larry Hoover, aka Nicky Barnes, aka Frank Lucas?" So they've got Joshua box rank number 2 in UK and box rank number 3 in the world. I don't believe it. I don't believe he's top 5 in world. Big dosser, big weightlifter. Biggest fraud to ever hit these shows. Trust me, he is a fraud. He's had it on a plate. I don't know what they're doing with him now, but I think what they're going to do, in my opinion, is protect him like you can never, ever imagine. You're going to see Dempsey McKean. You're going to then see another one. You're going to see him protected for 2 or 3 fights. He'll be protected all year. There'll be pull-outs and drag-outs, injuries, manoeuvring, swerving. You name it, it will be going on. But he's going to have a stiff for his 28th. And he's probably going to have a stiff after. They're going to keep spouting out learning on the job. Tyson Fury against Anthony Joshua is further away now than ever. But like I said, he's 34 this year, Joshua. And his CV is shocking, isn't it, really? Shocking. Shocking, isn't it? Oh, Charlie Martin, Brazil, Molina, Vladimir, Takam, Parker, Povetkin, Ruiz, Kulrat, Pulev. You could say really the only challenges he's had on there really are the 2 going into the fight, because he went into the Ruiz fight, didn't he, as a favourite, and they thought he were a knockover because he were a fat man. So forget that. You'd say only fight he's gone into really. Well, you know what, it might struggle here. It's Vladimir and Usyk. And Vladimir were over ill one in Usyk's a small man. So Joshua's always had a angle in every fight to do well, in my opinion. He's always had it stacked in his favour, whether he's been fighting at home or he's bigger or he's younger. He's had everything in his favour. And what I want to know is when we're going to see him in with somebody like Wilder. That's what we want to see, don't we? We want to see him in with a proper fight now. We don't want to see all these knockovers. We want to see him fight somebody with a heartbeat. Otherwise, he might as well just get in ring with big old Max Jenkins, hasn't he? AKA the breadcrumb, AKA Heart of a Pea. They might as well get him with Max, hasn't he? If he's going to fight people that are not much cop, just let's have it right. They don't want to test him, do they? So that's just my opinion. I'm entitled to it. I just think that Joshua needs to go get Wilder or Joyce for Wilder or Joyce or Fury, and I can get behind all this hype. Because all we've got so far is him trying to cheat and bluff his way to hundreds of millions of pounds and a fantastic legacy. Well, that legacy's tainted, really, innit? It's never going to be a proper legacy. He's going to be a manufactured fighter. And it's a shame, because they've tried to pull wool over his eyes. And once this generation's gone from boxing, all these casuals, all we're going to be left with is cobwebs, aren't we? We're going to be left with nothing, aren't we? You know what I mean? We're going to be left with this next gen. We're going to have to get boxing up and going again, aren't we? Because what they're trying to do with these big stars like Joshua is nothing short of scandalous. Nobody mentions a word about him being a big drug dealer. And nobody mentions a word about the gifts that he's had along the line, or nobody mentions a word about rumours about therapeutic exemption certificates, about how many trainers he needs, or why he split up with Robert McCracken, and who's calling shots up there. Because let's have it right. They were doing what they wanted up there at EIS for years. Now they're not there. They're strutting about and they don't know what they're doing. So who's in charge? Who is in charge of Anthony Joshua's destiny? Because as soon as he gets beat again, what are they going to do with him? Eh? They're going to put him in MMA? Eh? Or punt him out as a wrestler? Are you going to pimp him, Eddie? Is it going to be Pimp My Ride? Pimp Big Femi, the Big Dosser, a.k.a. Big Meech? I don't know, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens moving forward, isn't it? Okie dokie. All right. Peace out. Keep on trucking. Keep supporting boxing. Don't have nightmares. All right. And don't you have nightmares as well, aka Skins, you ponce. Peace out.